Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and wanted to share with you my first flight of the Mavic Pro. Now here in Chicago, it's going to be we're going to get a winter storm, so I wanted to get this out before we got the storm. And it's a little cold, so we'll see how things work and how long we can be outside. But a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, was when I was doing the unboxing, I had only showed one USB cable, when in fact there are actually three. For some reason, I just didn't see it in the box, but I wanted to highlight that first of all, there is a micro USB cable. There is a cable for your iPhone, and then right here, yes, there is a USB-C cable. So if you're an LG V20 user, an Exxon 7 user, a Pixel, you can use this with your phones as well. Now, the one thing though that I want to warn you is that there is a problem. If you have a Samsung phone, you're not going to be able to use this right out of the box. And let me explain why, right? There's no panic, but still it's important to know. You'll notice that this micro USB cable is going to be connected this way, and you notice how where it has kind of like the entry point is on the bottom. Now notice this cable right here. Well, this cable, if you look at it, is upside down. So if you try to connect this into your Samsung phone, it's not going to work. And remember, the way this is going to go is right here, like this, and your Samsung phone is going to go that way. Well, the problem is that your connector for your Samsung phone is like this. So think about it. When you're putting your phone to charge, this is what you do, right? You put it that way. This is upside down. Now, you cannot flip it. You cannot try to adjust the cable. It just doesn't work. So what you'll have to do is when you place your order, you'll need to make sure that you order the alternative cable. There's an alternative cable that you can purchase that has this flipped. If not, you're not going to be able to use it. Luckily, I have a lot of phones, so I can use different phones. I was going to use my Samsung phone, but I'll end up using the V20. So just keep in mind if you do that. Now, a couple other things just to keep in mind as well. And I was pleasantly surprised in this. So first of all, if you're looking for, and we'll open up the drone right here. This is your camera port or your memory port for your camera card. So right here you'll notice that there is a micro SD. Well, I was pleasantly surprised to find that there's a 16 gigabyte SD card already there. So that micro SD card, you don't have to worry about getting one right off the bat, but it's only 16 gig. So you're not going to be able to do an enormous amount of recording, but again, it's there and it's useful. The other thing that you'll see here is where you can switch from Wi-Fi mode to the actual radio mode. And this is going to give you the ability to either use your phone as a standalone controller, and that's going to be your only option if you're a Samsung phone user, if you don't have that cable, because you won't be able to connect it to the controller, or to use it with the combination of the remote. So that's in that area. The other thing I wanted to highlight, and we'll move this arm out of the way here, is that in order to remove the battery, you do have to press these two buttons. So when you press these two buttons, it comes out. And when you want to put it in, you need to make sure that your arms are open, like these two right here, because it has a hard time just getting in. And that also, you won't be able to access this if this is closed. So if I were to bring, let's say, for example, this arm back, so we're going to twist it back into its locked position. Move that out of the way. And we'll do this right here. And we put this back into place, you'll notice you can't access this. And I know this sounds like it's like a common sense thing that you probably say no duh, but that was one of the things when I pushed the button. I was like, well, why isn't this coming out? Because I thought this was an ejector button, but it's not. It's just a button that's going to tell you when it powers up. And then the last thing I'll mention before we go on flight is that in order to turn it on, you press it once and then you press a second time and hold in order to turn on the unit, and everything will light up. But obviously you can have everything extended. Make sure you take this cover off. It has two. It has this one right here and the second one there. Make sure you take them both off. So that's everything that I found as I was using it. I've already updated the software. There's a firmware upgrade. So next we're going to go outside and we're going to kick this baby out and we're going to see how it flies. So one of the things I wanted to show you is kind of like the pre-flight, what they call the pre-flight checklist. For me, I call it paranoia because I don't want to fly this outside for the first time and then have the thing fly away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it in my home. I have a relatively decent size front room for my house, so I have it here and I'm just going to go through the process. Now, one of the other things I made a mistake with was there's two apps on the App Store. There's a DJI Go and there's a DJI Go 4. The DJI Go 4 is what you want for the again, for the Mavic. So you want to make sure that you get the right one, and then you'll have to create your account. So that's one thing that I did, was just made sure that I did that. And I've already registered myself, so it will recognize everything that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the controller. So I'm going to press it once and press it again to turn it on. And then it says it's connecting. Now, according to DJI, they always recommend that you first start out turning on the device first. So you notice this is the DJI Go one that I had. I'm choosing this one, the 4, and we're going to let it start up. And hopefully you can see that it's going through the connection process. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that this is the LG V20. It fits, but it doesn't fit with the case. Matter of fact, I haven't found any of the cases where it work with any of the cases. Now, one of the things that you'll notice right here, this says that the RC is connected. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to power up the drone. All right, so now what we'll do is notice how what we have here. I powered up the drone. You'll notice that the drone lit up. So it has kind of the 2 red lights in front, and the front is flashing. Everything is now ready to go. And you'll notice here on the controller, it says that it's ready to go as well. GPS mode is ready, and I have this in what it's called the training mode. So everything is set, and the next thing we're going to do is just see if we can see what the camera sees. All right, so one of the things I wanted to share with you, it's one of my mistakes, is behind here there is actually this little plastic piece that I didn't realize was there in place. So I had removed the cone, but I never removed this little piece here. You'll see my dog jump in the camera every now and then. So make sure that you take this piece out, because since it is transparent, it was just one thing I missed. Now the actual remote is going to tell you that something's wrong, that the gimbal was not able to rotate. So all you do is remove this piece, and again, it's hidden here in the back. All right, so what we're seeing now is what the camera sees, and I have no error messages. You notice that it says it's ready to go. GPS is locked. And you want to make sure that you have GPS enabled, that it is getting a good GPS signal. I do know I have friends that have had some of the larger DJI drones that haven't, they've messed with them and the GPS wasn't working for whatever reason, and they've lost their drone. So you want to have that GPS going. You'll also notice that the camera, I can see what it can see. So you can see some of my sofas there, and you can see my dog jumping on one of them. So everything looks good. Everything says that it's ready to go. And then what you see right here is basically it's telling you how high it is. It's off right now because it's actually on the floor. It says it's 10 feet when it's really not. Or maybe this is distance from the remote, but that's still not 10 feet. So we'll see what's going on there. But everything looks pretty succinct. And as you notice, as I tap, you do have the ability to kind of focus in specific areas and kind of change what you see. So let's go ahead and we'll try to elevate it here in the room and see how it works. All right, so here we have the drone. I just want to show you how precise this drone is. Notice how this is probably the easiest drone I've ever flown. And keep in mind that this is the first time that I'm flying this thing. So I am just, watch the sensitivity and look at how it's just rotating so precisely. I'm going to go back. I can move forward, and I can go back, and it's just super duper precise. This is so cool. All right, I think we're ready for an outdoor flight, so let's go ahead and go outside. All right, so here we have the Mavic. It's on. It's actually recording. We're going to put it to record in a second, so let's turn it around just so you can see the overall maneuverability. Very precise, like side, side, very fast. We're going to raise it up. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start recording, and we're going to try to turn it in a different direction, and we're going to move forward. We're going to turn it around, side to side. Very maneuverable. All right, so the next footage is really going to be just about, from the drone's perspective, what it sees. I don't know how the translation of the quality is going to come out, but I have to say that while I don't have any specific reasons to justify anyone purchasing a drone, all I can really say is that it's really cool. So what you see here is just footage and clips of me just flying the drone. I'm 2 to 3 miles away.
and just flying it and just checking out the landscape. One of the local schools in our neighborhood, and going into a wildlife and just just flying. So as a amateur drone flyer, I think that this is a very user friendly drone. It takes fantastic photos. It does a really nice job when it comes to shooting pictures. And as you can see here, where it's very smooth is because I'm using this mode called tripod, and it just helps with the cinematography. It's almost like you're watching, a professional do something like this, where everything is just really smooth. So once again, great drone, easy to use. I'll let you enjoy some of the footage I took. And if you have any comments or questions, leave it at the end of the video at the YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.